Blink tends to get a bit of a bad rap for being a gimmick in PvP. The thing is though, that when mastered properly, like I have, I've spent 6 years playing Blink from D1 into D2. Yes, even when it was still on Hunters, Blink is an absolutely amazing tool. And in fact, if you aren't convinced, just take a look at this raw, unedited footage of me annihilating the entire enemy team.
No zones means no victory. Take them.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
Delightful!
Welcome back, Guardians, to another Dream Team video. I'm your humble host, Meeson777, and welcome to Twilight Gap. This is my Blink obstacle course. This is the place I go when my Blink just is not feeling hot. And I'm going to show you an obstacle course that we can run in order to make your Blink nasty. The basic structure of this video is I'm going to tell you why Blink is so powerful. I'm going to talk about some of the basics of how Blink works in case you're new to Blinks or maybe just new to Warlocks. And then I'm going to show you the obstacle course, and then I'm going to show you some more higher tier tech. So depending on your skill level will be dependent on where you might want to skip to in the video or watch to in the video, which might be more preferred for us here at home at this really small YouTube channel we know as TDT Productions. Oh, and one more thing I want to make sure I throw out there. Make sure you blink your way over to blazingboost.com. They are an online service that can help you get some weapons, armors, achievement, etc. that you might not be able to get on your own. And while we personally don't encourage recoveries for competitive play at all, you can't help but deny that sometimes there are some weapons that are time-gated or grindy that aren't necessarily hard, but you just want to get your hands on and you're not interested in putting the time and energy into it. If you're one of those types of people like myself, I highly recommend you check out blazingboost.com. The link is in the description below. They are pretty awesome people and they've got really high ratings on their Trustpilot score. Alright, let's get going. First, the basic part, the why. Why should you use Blink? Why am I such a strong proponent of Blink? Why have I put 6 years of my life into Blink? Well, here's the gist. Blink is capable of doing something that no other ability can do in the game. Just like the name implies, it allows you to blink from position to position, allowing you to rapidly change your angle or rapidly change your position of engaging. Let's say, for example, we've got an enemy down this hallway. We start to engage on them and they start to close the gap on us. They take a nice position of cover right there. We're scared that the grenade is going to come out and wipe us out, so we need to quickly reposition. As a hunter, I might be able to try to double jump over, but the thing is that grenade might still be in the range of me if I'm up here in this general area. I can try floofing across, which might work if they're not paying attention, or I could try maybe pulling back and getting some different positions of cover. The thing that makes Blink special is the fact that I don't give a shit. I can blink right into their face and close the gap if I would like to. Or if I don't want to do that, I can blink all the way over here and not expose myself at all to the enemy. Hell, I could even do that better if I gave myself some more space. I could blink all the way outside of that space. I could even, if I wanted to, blink back in a way if I think the shotgun is getting ready to come around the corner. The ability to reposition within, like you guessed it, the blink of an eye is incredibly powerful. At the higher level of plays, you can nothing personnel people. You can blink right behind them and shotgun them in the back of the head before they realize what's really happening. Especially if they've got a lower sensitivity or if they're doing something a little bit longer range, such as sniping or whatever it may be, you can throw people off so hard that they don't know what to do with themselves. It is an absolutely awesome tool. Not to mention, if you're running the middle tree, the Nova Warp, for Voidwalkers, it's basically required to make this super powerful. Like, not to say that Nova Warp isn't solid, it's solid, but with Blink it goes from being pretty good to, you know, this super's pretty damn nice. Let me convince you a little bit further. 4 seconds on the clock, right when it hits 0, I'm gonna blink up and get to that side of the map before the 5-second mark even hits. I'm clear across this side of the map in under 5 seconds. I'm from one side all the way on that bridge that we can't even see anymore to this side in under 5 seconds. I would like to see your Stompy's Hunter do that. So the ability to close gaps, the ability to make more gap, or the ability to just simply reposition is the absolute best part about Blink, and that's why you probably should be giving Blink a try if you haven't in a while. Hopefully hunters get Blink soon. Apparently there's some kind of rumor that Blink's gonna come back to Hunter in the Stasis update, the Beyond Light update, but here's to hoping, crossing my fingers. I might actually play a lot more Hunter if that's the case. Let's now roll on to the basics of Blink. I think I've done a fair, decent enough job for the people who are still watching me rant to convince you that blink is something that you probably should spend some time on, so let's talk about some of the basics. This is going to be lightning fast. I'm going to assume that most of the people who are watching this channel probably are at least familiar with blink, or at least have heard the ability, or probably use the ability themselves. But for the people who do not know, blink is influenced by your camera and dictated by your momentum. What I mean by that is I can look this direction and blink to the right if my movement is that direction, right? But I might not be able to get as far as if I were to blink with the camera pointing that direction. For example, jump, blink, a little bit further, just so you can get an idea. We're going to abuse this mechanic of it being influenced by the camera and dictated by your momentum a little bit later. Understanding how that momentum works is important for understanding how to blink as far a distance as possible in the shortest period of time. I like to picture it like there's a 2x4 on like an exercise ball, and you're pushing the one end that's planted into the carpet all the way to the other side. So essentially, if you're seeing it on screen here, when your momentum flattens out is when you want to blink, or maybe right before it starts to flatten out. You can also do things like, you know, that little diagram implies, in blinking straight up or blinking straight into the ground, which we can do. We will talk about some more applicable higher end uses of this as we start to go along. Another thing that is important to know is that if you're not running Astrocyte Verse with your blink will be like a soft 5, whereas with Astrocyte Verse it becomes like a hard 9. And it's a night and day difference. You will notice the difference. Like, try putting down the transversive steps a little bit and try out the Astrocyte Verse. I promise you, the Astrocyte Verse will be better for blinking than what your transversives can give you. I generally think that Astrocyte is a better exotic in general than the transversive steps, although I know some people are gonna disagree with that. I've got my own personal opinions and my own personal biases. Just let me have them, damn it. But yeah, everything we're going to be doing here is going to be Astrocyte. So if you don't have the Astrocyte helmet and you're finding this to be a little bit difficult for this obstacle course, that might be why. The very last thing to understand about the fundamentals of blink is that it has an invisible timer. With Astrocyte Verse, you're able to blink a lot more often. I would say it's roughly 4 seconds in between a double blink. Whereas with the normal blink, it's roughly 6 seconds in between a double blink. So that means that let's say if I, for example, you can see here, if I blink, and then I blink, and then I try to blink, I can't blink. Now I can blink. See, roughly 4 seconds from the time you start that first blink. So you can get a general feeling from when this is going to happen, but I'm going to tell you right now that if you try to get into blink, Bungie will bone you occasionally. There will be sometimes you just pray, please Bungie, give me a blink. You don't even have a cooldown timer, which, by the way, Bungie, that would be awesome, but nevertheless, that's not what we're here to do. That's something to understand. Also, during this time, your weapons can't be shot until a little while afterwards. I am spamming, after the blink, I am spamming the shoot button on this Mida, which has incredible handling, and it takes it a second. So learning how to time when your weapon is going to be ready to fire, and learning to time how often your blinks will be up will be crucial to getting really, really good at blink. It's one of those things you pick up naturally, but if you keep conscious of it, you'll be able to learn it a little bit faster. Let's roll on to the obstacle course. Alright, step number 1 is easy. Just a little short hop up to here. Like I said, small, minute movements. That's about the height that you'll be able to get if you've got low mobility. And then we're going to do a long, flat blink across this gap, right over the 2 walls here. One there, one there. Should be easy enough if you're even remotely familiar with blink. Secondly, we're going to do a bit of a reverse blink through here. If you line it up right, you should be able to blink into this little gap with your back facing to where you were just shooting. This is what we talked about with that momentum. This will help you get that practice. Secondly, we're going to run out here. We're going to do a little short hop up to here, and we're going to long blink all the way up to here. If you do it right on top of this little shipping container, you should be able to get all the way up here from the top of that box without actually having to mantle. You might need to adjust your mobility if you are having to mantle, but you should be able to make it up here regardless of mobility. From here, it's going to be little short hops. We're not even sprinting here. You see that? I'm not even sprinting. This is just little short hops, just like this. Like I said, high mobility will help you out here a little bit, but it's not required. You can, mix in a sprint in there if you can't make it. Next, we're going to aim right for that little hole, and we're going to blink right through it. Excellent. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now comes the stressy, messy, lemon depressy of trying to make it through this gap. It is an obstacle course, by the way, and just like with lifting weights at the gym, you want to give yourself a challenge. You don't try to lift weights that you know you can lift. You want to try to lift weights that are a little bit heavy for you to lift, and this is definitely one of those. Cue the Benny Hill theme because I'm probably not going to get this right away. That only took 2 tries. That wasn't that bad. Probably didn't get copyright struck for Benny Hill either. Alright, excellent. Moving forward. Now comes to the hardest challenge. I am going to blink across this gap. I'm not blinking up there. I am blinking right there. We're going to do a tech called the double blink. This is something that if you've seen some of our other videos, you might be familiar with this one. You're able to blink twice in the air. And if you use your camera influence correctly, you'll be able to maintain a decently high blink and a decently flat blink across this, what is going to be a very large gap. Let's see if we can nail it on the first try. Just barely. That could have been a little bit tighter, but that was pretty good. That will force you as a newer Blink user to not only have faith in your new movement ability, but it'll also get the timing down for you of how you're actually going to be doing those blinks. If you want a little bit of easier mode, you can actually go up here and do the same. The timing is not nearly as bad, by the way. You can literally jump, look up into the air, blink as soon as you're about a 60-degree angle, keep just spamming the blink button, and you'll blink to your target. So once again, we're going to jump, blink, keep looking up in the air, blink again. If we do it right, we should land safely on the other side here. And that's the gist of the obstacle course. See how fast you can get this done. I have never actually timed myself, but that would be interesting to see if you guys came up with some times in the comment section down below. Just trying to do this quickly will be something that will really, really get you down pat. That's the gist. That's Blink. I hope you guys enjoyed this stuff. This is definitely a little bit of a longer form video because Blink is definitely more than can be covered in just 10 to 12 minutes, but I hope you appreciate all the time, thought, and effort that went into this. If you do appreciate it, and if you want to see more videos, guides, and such like this, be sure to subscribe. It helps us out a lot as we're still a very small channel. We just broke 4K, which is awesome, by the way. Thank you all so much for the awesome support. Be sure to share this video around with your Warlock friends if they are in doubt of Blink as a tool in the PvP world. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Be sure to check out our sponsor, like all that other good YouTube BS. Bless your faces and deuces.